We present a novel data-driven method for quadruped motion synthesis called mode-adaptive neural networks. Quadruped animation is one of the unsolved key problems in computer animation that has a high interest for games, films, and also for robotics. Our system can produce realistic motions and smooth transitions given the control commands. Unlike traditional keyframe animation, our system does not require to create individual motion clips or a motion graph, but instead is able to learn the animations directly from the data. Due to their complex footfall patterns, labeling quadruped locomotion modes often requires expert knowledge and a significant amount of data alignment and preprocessing. Quadruped motion capture data is usually also very unstructured and includes a wide variation of different or noisy movements. Applying standard neural networks to such data can reproduce the typical locomotions but results in significant sliding artifacts or unnatural or artificial movements. Methods like phase-functioned neural networks could be a potential solution, but it is very difficult to define a consistent phase scheme for different locomotion modes. Interpolation between different modes can potentially occur, which causes foot sliding or stiff movements. In this research, we developed a novel end-to-end learning architecture that can learn from a large amount of unstructured motion capture data. Rather than finding a fixed solution of weights, our system learns to simultaneously optimize and blend a group of weights into a further neural network. Those become tuned as specialized experts for particular motions and are dynamically combined with the blending coefficients of the gating network, which adapts to the current state of motion. The generated weights are then used in the motion prediction network to produce the desired actions or locomotions. Using 1 hour of quadruped motion capture data, we train our system by stochastic gradient descent. Our motion data includes sitting, idle, lying, walk, pace, trot, canter, jumping, turning, and standing. After training, the user can interactively control the character in real time and launch various locomotion modes and actions using simple keyboard control commands. The red and green arrows on the ground show the movement control signals, which are used to estimate the future trajectory that the user wants to navigate. On the left side, we show the produced footfall patterns of different locomotion modes for the given velocities. During the locomotion, the weights of the neurons in each layer are cyclically changed by adapting to the current state of motion, as we show on the right side. Here we visualize the activation profile for 8 different blending coefficients during various movements. The output neurons of the gating network have learned to specialize for different motion phases, transitions, and actions. Those produce a different cyclic function for each motion, having distinct output neurons with higher responsibility. Transitions between different modes of locomotion naturally appear by adjusting the desired velocity. The character control is responsive and the transitions between different motions are smooth. We observed that the number of expert weights corresponds to the granularity level in getting tuned for different motions and also relates to the sharpness of the motion that can be learned. When deactivating particular output neurons for the blending, some motions or transitions can become disabled. In this instance, turning left was no longer possible, but turning right remained unaffected. By masking out other neurons for the blending, regular locomotion became disabled while still having the ability to jump, or sitting down could not be performed anymore. We now demonstrate our system as a controller to automatically follow predefined trajectories. The character is animated with realistic movements and only little deviation from the curves. Natural turning can be produced and transitions between different modes automatically appear by the trajectory and velocity input. We now compare our results with different controllers. Motions generated by standard feed-forward neural networks suffer from smoothing and significant amount of foot sliding. Our method can synthesize very natural stepping movements even at sudden turns, acceleration and deceleration. Motions generated by the phase-functioned neural network are more accurate than those of standard feed-forward networks, but sometimes show stiff movements or unstable control. Our technique can be observed to produce more sharp and natural animations by keeping the high-frequency components of the motion. This can especially be observed during sudden changes in the motion, for instance when desiring instantaneous left or right turns. In contrast to standard and phase-functioned neural networks, our system can immediately react to such given control signals. Finally, we show our method applied to stepping over smooth, uneven terrain using a full-body CCD inverse kinematic solver. In summary, we propose a novel architecture for real-time quadruped motion synthesis based on mode-adaptive neural networks. It is the first systematic approach for constructing a data-driven quadruped character controller that can produce a wide variation of locomotion modes, actions, and transitions in a quality that can be of practical use. Our system is trained in an end-to-end fashion from unstructured motion capture data without giving labels for the motion phase or the locomotion modes. The system is responsive and the animation is smooth and natural.